Hello students, today we are going to start the first lesson, Unit 1, Introduction to Biology. This is the shortest lesson in your biology course in advanced level. Right. Today we are going to start the nature scope and importance of biology with reference to challenges faced by the mankind. Right. That means, right, how do we use biology to solve problems by uh, solve problems that problems arise due to various incidents happening on the earth, and uh, man has to solve that problems to maintain a healthy and good life on the earth. Right. Let's see. First, we want to talk about what the biology is. Right. What do you mean by biology? Biology we can define like this. Right. In biology, we study about whom? We study about plants, animals, and microorganisms. Right. Those are living things. Right. They are living things. Right. And we are going to study about these living things. We can call as biology. Right. We can call as biology. Right. And how does this biology word inherit? Right. Biology word, how was it formed? Right. Biology word was inherited from a Latin word that is called bios. Bios logos. Right. Here, what do you mean by bios? Bios means life. Bios means life. Logos means study of. Bios means life. Logos means study of. So, we are going to learn about, or we are going to study about the life, right? So, these two words combine and form biology in English. Right. Biology. Right. So, think about these things like incidents happening on the earth, and temperature, like temperature fluctuations, and rolling stone towards the downwards, right? Rolling stone downwards, and object is coming towards earth. These kind of phenomena can be explained by using chemical or chemistry laws or physics laws. But can we define life by using physics laws or chemistry laws? No, we can't use, and we can't explain that. We can't explain biology by using that laws, right? So, right, biology, that is a, we can say that, right, biology is a very vast and very spreaded subject all over the world, right? Spreaded subject, and everywhere we can see biology. Why? Because everywhere, most of the areas on the earth, right, we can see living things, right? So, that is vast and very spreaded subject, biology. So, for the convenience of our study, this biology subject is divided into main three parts. Let's see what that parts are. Right. First one is First one, right. We are studying about animals, plants, and there are some other kind organisms that they are called microorganisms, right? So, if we study about plants, we call it botany, right? Botany. Botany means what? What do you mean by botany? Botany is, right, the study of the study of plants, right? And second one, we are going to learn about animals, right? We are going to learn about animals, so that can be called as zoology. Zoology, the study of animals. And third one, what is that? Third one is microbiology. Microbiology means the study of microorganisms. The study of microorganisms, right? These are the areas, right? These are the areas that biology is divided for the convenience of study, right? Under these areas, there are some branches we want to know, right? As example, if we learn about botany, we have to learn about the plant structures, about plant tissues, right? And the functions of the plants, right? And functions as well as the chemical reactions occurring in the plants, right? We have to study. So in zoology also same, and also biology, microbiology, that is also same. We have to study a vast area, right? So for the convenience of our study, biology is divided into like these three areas. Under these three areas, right, we have to learn some branches. Right? After writing this small description, let's discuss about what that branches are. Right? Write down the note. Right? Write in point forms. It is easy for you to understand, and it is easy for you to study the lesson, right? Write in points form, not in paragraph form. Okay, right. Write down the unit 1 and main topic, introduction to biology, and put the subtopic nature, scope and importance of biology with reference to challenges faced by the mankind. Please write down these things up to this. Unable to provide an acceptable definition, provide an acceptable definition for life, right? Next point. Life is something special and unique. Something special and unique, right? Next point. It cannot be explained by using laws of chemistry and physics. Right? Next point. Biology is a subject which is very complex and vast. Right? Next point. Hence, for the convenience of studying, it has been divided into three primary branches. Right. put 1, 2, 3 and write down these three. Right. First one, botany, that means the study of plants. Second one, zoology, that means the study of animals. Third one, microbiology, the study of microorganisms. Right. Okay, I think all you have written this three. Right. Let's discuss the rest of the lesson. Okay, right. I told you that under the three main primary branches, right, we have to study some areas, right. Let's see what they are, right. First one is, right, cell biology. Right, cell biology. What is cell biology? Cell biology means what? Cell biology means, right, studying of cells. Studying of cells. Now, the studying cells, right? What do we study in cells, right? We have to study the organelles in the cells like ribosomes, chloroplast, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, like the things we have to study. So, studying about that kind of things, right, we can call as cell biology, right? What is the second one, right? Second one is histology. Right. We know that we have various kind of tissues, muscle tissues, nerves, and skeletal tissues, skeletal muscle tissues, right? Like that tissues we have, right? We have to study these things in biology, mainly in your unit 5, right? We will study about our tissues, right? Right. That is studying tissues. Studying tissues. Right. Third one. Right. What is third one? Third one is anatomy. What do you mean by anatomy? What do you mean by anatomy? Anatomy means, right, we have proper shape, don't we? We proper shape, right? That shape is maintained by our skeletal system, right? And we human has a proper shape, as well as if we consider about elephant or fish, they have any other shapes, right? So we have to study, right, that about anatomy, or the studying of gross structure of the body, right? Studying of the gross structure of the body. Right, fourth one. What is fourth one we are going to study, right? We are going to study physiology. Right, what do you mean by physiology? Right, organisms are performing various kinds of functions, like, right? Right, as example, if we consider about plants, photosynthesis, right? Animals, they show a lot of functions, right? So we will study about these kind of functions. So that belongs to the physiology part, right? Studying what do you call studying functions. Right, next one, fifth one, biochemistry. Right, what is biochemistry? Right, we know that there are four main organic molecules that helps to create the organism's body. What are they? Carbohydrate, lipid, proteins, nucleic acid. Right? Right. We have to study that kind of molecules, and there are so many reactions are occurring inside the cells, right? In every cells, right? What are the what is that reactions are called, right? We can say as metabolism, right? There are two types of metabolic reactions, no, right? What are that two? Anabolism and catabolism. So we have to study about these things, right, under the biochemistry, right? So we can write as what the biochemistry is: studying biological molecules, studying biological molecules, right? Right. Sixth one, genetics. What is genetics? Right. Think about your eye color and the shape of your hairs. I mean the curly hair, right? Wavy hair, like that hair, right? And the your earlobe, right? How much it is attached to the skull, right? That kind of characteristics are inherited from your parents or your grandparents, maybe, right? So, like something, think this way, right? Oh, there is a, we can say son, right? There is a son, right? That one has curly hair, right? But his parents do not show curly hair. Then the neighbors' homes, neighbors' houses, man shows curly hair. Then what will happen? Right? Actually it is a problem. No. Right? Then father doesn't have curly hair, mother doesn't have, but the neighbor one has. Right? Then father will suspect about mother. No. Right? If he know the genetics, if he has knowledge about the genetics, right? He will find that if the wife's family, does anybody contain curly hair? Oh, his family, that means husband's family, right? Does anybody contain curly hair, like that, right? Then when he was searching, when he is searching, right, he sees, right, that wife's father has curly hair. Now he can conclude that, right, that kind of characteristic comes to the son, that doesn't show in the husband's hair. Ek husband ge hair walin eka pennanne in the husband's hair, right? We can say that each gene we can say actually, right, each gene has actually two or more alleles. Sometimes more than two. Each gene has two alleles, right? So in father's what happened in father, right? Father can right? That curly hair is has become a recessive allele, and what do you call? Let's say that he has straight hair, right? Straight hair has become a straight hair trait has become a dominant allele, right? He can that we can say that, right? That then curly hair allele is recessive in the father, right? But in son, right, it is dominant, right? We are studying like that things in genetics, right? Right. We can say studying inheritance. Inheritance, right? Then seventh one, ecology. Right. What do you mean by ecology? Ecology means, right, we have to study not only about animals but also about our world and ecosystems, right? Rainforest, deserts, and savannas, like that things we have to study. If we don't have that knowledge about that things, right, we can't live on the earth actually, right? If we want to spend a proper life on the earth, right, we should have knowledge about that kind of ecosystems, and right, what are the importance of them, right? What the importance of them are, we have to keep in the mind. So we want to study ecology, right? We can say studying environment. Right. Okay. Right. These are the branches we want to study under that three primary branches. Right. Let's write a point. Point right. Write down. Leave a rule. Rule under. Right. Some areas of study in these branches are as follows. Some areas of study in these branches are as follows, right? These things are asked to the exam. Okay, you have to keep that in your mind, right? These things are questions by the question to the exam, right? You will have to write, you will be asked that, right? What are the three main areas you are studying under biology, and then the question can be that what are the branches you study under main three branches, like that questions will come to your exam. Okay, so you want to keep these things in your mind. Okay, right, let's move to next part. Okay, let's discuss the rest of the lesson. Up to this, we discussed some kind of introduction to the lesson, right? Now we are moving to discuss the issues pertaining to the biology. Right, issues pertaining to biology, right? Right, under this topic, right, first we are studying, right, first one, right, understanding biological diversity. Understanding biological diversity. Right, when seeing this one, right, you will think that is this a question? Yes, this is a question. Why should we have a proper understanding about the biological diversity? Can we live without considering the environment or the living organisms of the earth? No, we can't we can't live without considering about them, because we are only a part of the earth, right? We are kind of organisms that is only a part of the earth, right? Right, so we should right, consider about other living organisms as well as the non-living environment also, right? Okay, right, today when talking about our planet earth, right, it is very rich in biology, the biodiversity, right? We can, if we consider about our country like Sri Lanka, right, we have, right, rainforest, right, and coral systems we have, right, and so many ecosystems we have, right? That things belong to the biology and biodiversity, right? As well as there are various, right, various creatures in Sri Lanka, right? So Sri Lanka has vast biodiversity, right? Right? Then, right, uh, how many years ago was the life formed on the earth? Right? අවුරුදු කීයකට කලින්ද පෘථුවියේ life එක generate වෙන්නේ නැව නැත්නම් ඇති වෙන්නේ? Right? In according to your all level knowledge, how many years ago? Right? We say about 3.5 billion years ago. 3.5 billion years. 3.5 billion years ago, right? Our space was created 5 billion years ago. Then after 400 million years, what happened? Right? What happened after 400 million years? Right? Then our sun and solar system was created. Then after, right, 3.5 billion years ago, right, first appeared organism was formed on the earth. Right? What are the characteristics of that organism? One of the organism getting the characteristics, right? If we consider about the early conditions of the earth, right, this atmosphere didn't contain oxygen, only very less amount, right? It had ammonia and CH4, like we can say methane, right, nitrogen and oxides of nitrogen. That kind of air was included in the early atmosphere. So if the oxygen was not available, oxygen tibun nathang, right, can that organism do respiration? No, that organism can do respiration. So we say that one of the characteristics of that organism is anaerobic. And at that time chloroplast or photosynthetic pigments were not formed. So that organism didn't have the ability to do photosynthesis. So he had to, right, depend on some substrate, right, that on the earth, right? So we say if we can do photosynthesis, we say phototropic. So that organism couldn't do the photosynthesis, so he was heterotrophic. Right? Anaerobic, heterotrophic, and what is the what was his cellular, what do you say, what was his what about his nucleus? Nucleus එක ගැන මොකද කියන්න පුළුවන්? Right? Cell organization, right? Was it eukaryotic or prokaryotic? Right? He didn't have organized nucleus, so that organism was prokaryote. Right? These are the characteristics of first form organism. Right? He was formed around 3.5 billion years ago, and he had some characteristics. What are that characteristics? Anaerobic, heterotrophic, and prokaryote. Right? Then what happened? Then this organism was evolved, and today we can see a vast biology on the earth as a result of evolution process. Right? Right. Then how many living species are on the earth? Right? කොච්චරක් living species ලා ඉන්නවා කියලා කියනවා, right? Scientists assume, according to their researchers, they are botanists or zoologists or microbiologists, they are doing various kind of researches, and they are finding new animals, plants, and microorganisms that are important to human being, right? So according to their researchers, and right, the scientists estimate, right, or assume that there are more than 100 million to 10 million to 100 million, right? More than 10 to 100 million organisms are available on modern Earth, right? Right. Then, if you talk about until then, up to now, we talk about the living world, right? Do we have a relationship or do we have a deal with non-living environment? As example, stones, rocks, like that. Do we have a relationship between them? Yes, we have, right? If you want to make a house, right, you have to break some break a stone and lay the foundation, and you build up your house, right? That things are non-living, right? We have relationship, right? So it is dynamic. Dynamic means what? Dynamic means it is changing, right? Right? It is not a, what do you call, a fixed relationship, right? That is not a fixed relationship, right? Right. Then every species or every organism in the world, right? They have a specific role in the environment. Do we have a specific role? Yes, we have. Lion, deers, rabbits, whatever the, and trees also, right? Whatever the organisms we consider, right? They have a special role. We say that ecological niche, right? In your ecology lesson, we will learn about that, right? And think about like this, right? There is a jungle, right? Only plant eaters are living, like rabbits, deers, bulls, like that. Plant eaters are living. No any predators to eat them. Are predators? Then what will happen? What will happen to the jungle? What will happen to the population of that animals? Right? Right? Then if they have no predator, that means they are freely living, right? Freely living, and they have plenty of food, right? Plant eaters. No, then in the jungle there are various kind of plants to eat, right? Then they will eat and reproduce continuously. It will happen, and at some point, what will happen, right? Then what will happen to the jungle, right? Jungle එක මාත් ඒක කැලේ හරි ටික ටික නැති වෙලා යයි නේ. ඇයි අනු මේ අර වගේ සත්තු කාලා කාලා right? Jungle එක vanish වෙලා යයි. හරි ඊට පස්සේ මොකක් වෙනවද අර සත්තු ටික මැරලා. Think about then if think about that what if there are lions or meat eaters, that meat eaters control the plant eaters population, right? Plant eaters, what do they do, right? They control the area of the jungle area control karna. Hey, otherwise what will happen, right? Otherwise what will happen? Then if the plant eaters are not living in that jungle, right? Jungle will grow as the jungle want. Right? Soon it will be a huge jungle, right? Right? Right. So each of the species, they have, right, a specific role on the earth, right? Then right, there are some not there are some, right, there are parts of the biologically diverse earth, right? There are some parts of the biologically earth. What are that parts, right? Again, biologically diverse earth parts, there are some parts. What are that parts, right? Right, variety of life on the earth, various kind of lives we can see, right? And number of species of plants, there are various kinds of plants. We can say angiosperms and gymnosperms and pterophytes, lycophytes, the various kinds of, right? We will study later about them, right? Then animals, there are various kind of animals, microorganisms, right? And among them, they have that animals, plants and microorganisms, they have genes, right? And that genes have there are so many genes, I mean that right, diversity we can see among that genes, right? We all are not same because of the difference of genes. Hari genes වල තියෙන වෙනස්කම් නිසා hari අපි ඔක්කොම එකිනෙකට සමාන නැහැ වෙනස්, right? And where there are various kinds of ecosystem can be seen on the earth, deserts, rainforests, coral reefs, right? And mangroves, right? Like that things, right? We can see. So because of depending on these things, right, we can say that there is a huge biodiversity can be seen on the earth today, right? Okay, I think you can understand about the first one, that is understanding biological diversity, right? Let's write about these issues, right? First, you may put the point or topic issues pertaining to biology, issues pertaining to biology, and write down number 1, understanding biological diversity. Right, okay, let's write, put the first point. At present, our planet is, at present, our planet is rich in diversity. At present, our planet is rich in diversity. Right, next point. Life on earth formed around, FORMED, formed around, in red pen, Dr. Pen Elianda, 3.5 billion years ago. 3.5 billion years ago. මේවානොයි භාගයට හරි පළ සමහර අවුරුදු වල MCQ එකේ පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එකේ පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න. right? මේවා මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. That is why I told you to write in red pen. Right? Okay. 3.5 billion years ago. Right? Next point. The first formed organisms are believed to be the first formed organisms are believed to be, in red pen, heterotrophic, anaerobic, prokaryotes. Heterotrophic, anaerobic, prokaryotes. Okay, right. Next point. Since then, ithin passe, right? Since then, the evolutionary process resulted in the extensive biodiversity which exist in the biosphere now. Right, leave a rule karin. Put the next point. Rule karla point eda. Write down. Scientists assume based on their studies, scientists assume based on their studies, right, that there are about, in red pen, 10 million to over 100 million. 10 million to over 100 million. 10 million to over 100 million species in the world. Right, next point. There is a dynamic relationship between between living and living and this one, inanimate. What do you mean by inanimate? Inanimate means non-living, right? There is a dynamic relationship between living and inanimate world. Inanimate means non-living. If you don't know the meaning of this, right? Right? Inanimate means non-living, right? Okay. Inanimate. Right. Next one. Next point. Each and every organism has a specific role in environment, for existence of the biosphere, for existence of the biosphere, right? Leave a rule akarinde dala point eliyanda. The variety of life on earth, comma, the number of species of plants, the number of species of plants, right? Comma, animals and microorganisms, plants, animals and microorganisms, comma, the diversity of genes in these species, the diversity of genes in these species, comma, the different ecosystems on the earth, such as deserts, deserts, comma, rainforests, and coral reefs, reefs, coral reefs are all part of a biologically diverse earth, right? That is about understanding biological diversity, right? Okay, next move to understanding the human body and its function. We are going to discuss the human body and understanding of the human body and its functions, right? Right, understanding the human body and its functions, right? Why should we have understanding about our body? Right, if we don't have a proper understanding about body, right, about about our body, right? Suppose that a doctor is going to do a bypass surgery. Doctor can on a bypass surgery, right? If he doesn't know the anatomy of the body, what will happen? Heart එක තියෙන තැන කියලා වෙන දිහක් අපයි. Anatomy එක ඕනේ, right? Then we can we should have knowledge about our organs, anatomy එකත් වගේ මේ වගේ මේ functions ගැන knowledge එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. We should have knowledge and knowledge about organs and function about knowledge about functions in that organs, right? Otherwise what will happen, right? If we have some kind of illness, right? අපිට සමහර මොකක් හරි ලෙඩක් තිබුණොත් මොකක් වෙනවද, right? අපේ body එකේ මේ function hariyata danne නැත්නම් ඒ organs වල function hariyata danne නැත්නම් what will happen to us, right? Sometimes we will die, right? Otherwise, or the doctor will be unable to prescribe medicine. So, right, we should have understanding about our body, right? And then we should have knowledge about the organs and the relationships between organs and organs, right? Organs are organ athar thin relationship again, right? And their structure, functions, right? We should know, right? Okay, that is about, well, it is very small description about this under this one, right? Let's write second one, understanding the human body and its functions, right? Human body and its functions. Nah, tahu teacher. Nih, arah itu nak kanan tang. Right, let's write. First point, when studying biology, especially by studying histology and anatomy of the human body, one can gain, one means one person, one can gain the knowledge about the structure of the organs, ORGAN is organs. All right, next point. This results in understanding and appreciation of the organization of the human body, and understanding the functions of different organ systems and the relationships between structure and functions, right? Let's move to third issue we want to study, right? What is the third issue, right? We say sustainable use and management. Sustainable use and management. Sustainable use and management. What? One of the sustainable use management karande yani. Sustainable use and management of what? Natural resources. Management of natural right. Sustainable use and management of natural resources and environment. Right. What do you mean by natural resource or natural resources? Right. What do you mean by natural resources? Right. Natural resources means, right, as example, soil, water, fossil fuel, like that things are natural resources. Why do we use them? To fulfill our needs, like we want to use for day-to-day life, and for our economic development. A very best example is fossil fuels. These days we have some issues regarding with fossil fuel, right? මේ දවස්වල ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා fossil fuel වල. So right, our travelings are now somewhat limited. හරි, දැන් අපේ travelings ටිකක් limited වෙලා තියෙනවා, right? Because of the lack of crude oils, or we can say fossil fuels, right? So okay, right, then give a proper definition for natural resources, right? Natural resources that are sources of materials, right? Natural resources are sources of materials and energy, right? Evaporated materials like petrol, diesel, like materials, and that when they are burning, they give us energy, right? Resources, that means sources of materials and energy, right? Then which are found in naturally, which are found in naturally, and that things are important for our day-to-day life. For what? Right? Important for everyday life and for our economic development. That kind of things are called natural resources, right? Are there plenty of natural resources on the earth? No, they are limited, right? One day they will run out. So we have to use them under sustainable manner, right? Sustainable use right? Right. Then if we talk about the human population, right? Now it is growing at a high rate. Human population high rate grow. With the growth, what will happen, right? Needs are increasing, right? Then we have to burn more fossil fuels. If you take the fossil fuel, that is easy for you to understand, right? May all understand fossil fuel natural resource, right? Then what will happen, right? With the increase of with the higher growth rate of the human population, what will happen, right? The fossil fuel burning is increasing, right? Fossil fuel right? Then as a result of the over exploitation or overuse of these natural resources, right, there are some problems arise. Problems problems arise, right? What are the problems? One are the problems, right? First one is, right, if we burn so many fossil fuels, what will happen, right? Environmental pollution will occur. Environmental pollution, right? When environment is polluting, right, then what will happen, right? Amount of carbon dioxide on the earth is increasing. As a result, what will happen? The temperature is increasing of the earth. Temperature is increasing, then heat sensitive organisms will die. No, so organisms will die means what? Biodiversity is decreasing, right? We can say loss of biodiversity. Loss of biodiversity. And third one, what is third one? Right, when the temperature is going up, right, heat is increasing, the heat of the earth is will increasing also, right? Then that is not good for the plants also, right? All plants will die, right? Because of the lack of water, right? Right, the earth will be converted to desert, so we can say desertification, Right. These are the main problems, right, arise due to overexploitation or overuse of the natural resources. So, to minimize these problems, I mean the environmental pollution, loss of biodiversity and desertification, right, we should have a knowledge about biology, right. So, environment, we can control environmental pollution by by using environmentally friendly methods to generate power. Power generate environmental friendly methods use like solar power, like that, right? We can use, or we can use wind. Right? Then what happened, right? Then loss of biodiversity will decrease. හරි එතකොට මොකක් කරනවද biodiversity එක loss වෙන එක අඩු වෙන්න පුළුවන්, as well as desertification also will be decreased, right? Like that, like these problems can be solved by using solutions which are regarding to biology. Okay, right. Let's write the third one: sustainable use and management of natural resources and environment. කොච්චර ගියලද මෙතන නවත්තමු අපි පැගිල මම මෙතන නවත්තමු. Right, write the first point. First point you may write in red pen, රොත පෙන් ලියන්න පළවෙනි point එක. Right, write down: natural resources are sources of materials and energy found naturally which are used in everyday life, and for economic development. Right, that is the definition. If you will be asked what the natural resources are, right, you want to write this one like this. Then you can get the full marks for the definition, right? Okay, next point, lever rule. Right, write down: these natural resources are limited on the earth. These natural resources are limited on the earth. Right, next point: due to the increase of growth rate of human population, right, comma, overuse of natural resources is taking place. Right, next point: it causes threat of depletion of natural resources. Depletion means decay වෙනවා, නැත්නම් කියන්නේ ක්ෂය වෙනවා කියලා සිංහලෙන් අඩු වෙලා යනවා, නැති වෙලා යනවා. Right, depletion of natural resources. Right, lever rule ආකාරයෙන් write down: due to overexploitation of natural resources, due to overexploitation of natural resources. Overexploitation means overuse. Overuse overexploitation of natural resources, right? Various environmental problems are arised. Various environmental problems are arised. Various environmental problems are arised. What are that problems? මොනවාද ප්‍රශ්න? Right. So first one, environmental pollution, loss of biodiversity, desertification. Put 1, 2, 3 and write down these three. මේවා අහනවායි භාගෙට. Right. එන්න මතක තියාගන්න. Right. Right. Leave a rule and put the next point. Hence, to overcome the above problems, what are the problems? Environmental pollution, loss of biodiversity, desertification, right? To overcome the above problems, right? Management of natural resources and environment. Management of natural resources and environment should be practiced. Should be practiced. 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 Right. Next point. Knowledge of biology is useful to bring about remedies. REMEDIES. Remedies means we can say solutions, right? For a solution gain, right? So remedies for the above problems. Right. Okay. There are about 7 issues we have to be discussed, right? So today we discussed about 3 problems, right? Then rest of the things will be discussed on the other day. So thank you very much for joining with us.